Okay, beautiful. So last week we used the rectangle strategy to determine our entry on silver. And I told you, like what you have on the screen, the buy opportunity on silver, the stop loss, the take profit 1 and take profit 2. So like we had it actually hit our take profit 1 and our take profit 2. That's for silver. This was take profit 1 and this was take profit 2. So I don't know. I have two strategy but I want to take one. I want to use the zoning strategy or the rectangle strategy to analyze pairs that um the pair that was sent to the group. So if you want zoning, type Z. If you want rectangle, type R. So I can know which one I'm going to use to analyze the pair that we're taking this week and know the entry, whether we're going to buy or we're going to sell. But this is a recap based on the rectangle strategy that we did on silver. So you chat on the box while I analyze this. Like I taught earlier, the bigger rectangle and the inner rectangle. We use based on the inner rectangle to determine what is going to happen to silver. And exactly how we predicted, silver went our way. From what I'm still looking, silver is still going to go up, further up, because this closed above what? Our pivot level. That's one. So if we wait for the next candle to close, so we're expecting what? Silver to keep. If the next candle close above this, silver will do what? Get back here again and maybe do something like this, close above it and continue its journey upward. You can only take this trade if the present candle, that's a new candle for today, closes below and the next one closes below. Then you can think of what? Taking the trade for a sell. But for this, the buy is still very, very much valid. From what I'm seeing here, this buy is coming all the way to 29,77054. So what I'm going to do, I'll just change this, the new TP. That is if it goes our way, the way I'm looking at it, the new TP will now be, how many took this silver? If you took the silver last week, type on the chat box. Sorry, 29. If you took the silver, I think it was Parkinson that said he wanted us to analyze silver. But we can just leave it as 00, just to leave space. Then the stop loss, I need to do this. If it closes above, remember I said if the next candle closes above what? This pivot level, that's when you take the buy to what? 27. Okay, your first TP will be 27.59. Then your second TP will be 29. So your stop loss will be somewhere around here, 26,640. Let's use it that way. This is just a recap. We're going to show. So your stop loss will be, you can't have it big this way because this is long, 26,640. 26,640.00. This is your TP. Then TP. Sorry. The next TP will be 27.5900. So let's leave it this way. So this one you're going to have this another buy opportunity only if the present candle that is going to come maybe around 11 o'clock will close what? Above our pivot level, so we buy. But if it closes below, you have to wait to see what you're going to do next. My chat box is blinking. Okay, thank you. I took the silver. Oh, beautiful. Did you make money, Damilola? Did you make money? Did it hit your TP? Did you allow it to hit your TP? Yeah, I can answer that on the chat box. Oh, beautiful. Good. So we made progress with that. Then Euro USD. I don't know if we took Euro USD, but I can't find the charts what we had for Euro USD. I think also a buy opportunity on Euro USD, which this candle confirmed it and all that is still going up, but now is below the pivot level. So what you're going to do is wait for the next candle. Euro USD hit your stop loss. Oh, I think it should be this candle that wicked it out. It will definitely be this candle that wicked it out. So from this, you won't do anything yet until this candle closes. If it closes below, you sell to the next pivot. If it doesn't close below and it closes above, you do what? You buy here. But for me, from look of things, it's still looking more like a buy to me than, yes, the week. Beautiful. I know it's going to be this week that wicked it out. It just wicked it out, came back here and did what is continuing. For me, it looks more like it's buying and a buying opportunity, but I can only buy this if price breaks above this, closes above it, then I will buy up to here. So that is what I'm going to do. So don't buy yet until you see that the market is above your pivot level. That is for Euro USD. Now for Euro AUD, this was one that took us out on our buy because I didn't listen to myself. Remember what I wrote here? Before you take the position, wait for further confirmation. Buy if price closes above 1.58658, and which is exactly this place. But we bought somewhere here, and this price came out and wicked us. Sorry, let me take water. The price came out and took us out. But from the look of things, price closed above the line that we actually expected, which is 1.58658. So if it closes above and the present candle closes above, buy to what? 6. Let me edit it. Buy to 6. If the price closes above this, buy to what? Let me put it like this. Buy to 1.60350. So let's leave it that way. But if it closes below, if price closes below this pivot level of 1 day, then you sell to 1.55800. But to me, it looks more like a buy opportunity because of this double bottom, and this is a 4 hours time frame. You can see more higher highs here, higher highs here. So I'm expecting something of this nature. As soon as the market open, closes above and does what? Come here. If it breaks above it, it goes what? It goes back here. That's what I see. So for me, it's still more of a buy, but you have to wait for the confirmation for this present candle to close above this our black pivot line. Then we'll buy to the next zone. I think that is it. But we have gold. Let me just change this to gold. Change this to gold and see what we analyze for gold. I don't think we analyzed gold yesterday because I know last time I said I'm not going to take gold, so I won't be selfish. Okay, but this is gold. Gold is not telling me to buy because it's below my pivot level. So what I'm going to do is wait. You know how gold does. Wait, or you sell to this place when the candle closes below it. If it closes above it, the next candle you buy to this place. Because price is still consolidating. This is still consolidating. That's why price is moving this way. So it has not given a clear direction of where it's doing. You see, it broke out of this pivot level like a fake breakout, breaking again, and this candle did what? Close here. So I'm still expecting it to keep consolidating in this box like what you're seeing over here. But until price, for you to enter, for you to be clear about the thing that price is going to happen, you need to wait for price to break out of this first pivot level. Then you sell to here before you sell to here. But I doubt that's what will happen. But in case it does happen, this is a better opportunity for you to wait for sale. But if it closes above this, you do what? You buy. Because, like, you know, so when this breakout happened, I posted it to the group and I told everyone, wait for the next candle to do what? Form and close. before you know the direction. If that you had bought because you saw this guy going up, your stop loss will be hit by down. So that's why we always wait after a breakout of any pivot level, always wait for the next candle to confirm if you are going to take the buy or not. That is only what makes you patient and a good trader. So that is it for silver, Euro USD, gold, and Euro AUD. Now we're going to, you guys did not tell me which strategy am I going to use to analyze. Is it strategy, rectangle, or zoning? Which of the one? I just need to know. So we will take our time and do it. If you want rectangle, type arrow. If you want zoning, type S. Kola Wole Oladipo can't hear me because his speaker is not connected. So somebody said zoning. People want zoning. Okay. All right. Let's do zoning then. Let me paste this thing so Kola Wole can actually hear very well because he's not hearing me. Everybody wants zoning. Ole Babatunde, majority carries the vote. So I'm going to do zoning for today using the strategies. Now let me show you how zoning works. All you need to do, you can use your zoning on any time frame. 15 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 4 hours, any time frame. But I prefer using my zoning on 1 hour. All what I need to do is go to the daily time frame. I'll go first to the monthly time frame and check where the trend is. Zoom out to what? The barest minimum that you can't be able to zoom out anymore. Let me clear everything I have. So I've zoomed it out. Main looking at this. Where do you think what is happening? Is the trend on a downward trend or on an upward trend? I just want you to type on the chat box and tell me what's happening. Are you seeing a downward movement or upward movement? So tell me what's happening. I want us to communicate so it will be easy for us to. Are you seeing a downward movement or upward movement? Is price upward or downwards? Downwards, beautiful. You can see it here. This is a impulse move, correction, impulse move, this one. It has not broken this one here. So there's a possibility it can still come down. It's only one person that is communicating here. Is it that the rest are new people? All right, so this is just what you do. Check where the trend is on the higher time frame. What we're looking at it, we're seeing that it's going on a downward movement. You come to weekly and confirm what are you seeing is the same thing. It's still telling us that price is doing what? Coming down. Price is after this movement up here, after this impulse move here, price started coming downwards. So that will determine what we are going to do when we get to daily. What are you seeing on daily? It's still coming down. Price has not broken this place. If price breaks here, this confirms more that it wants to go bullish. This was the last low. This low beat it, and this one beat it. So now this is the next high here. Price is yet to break through the high. So it's either we're expecting it to come back or retest it, or price just does what? Keep coming down from here. So what are we going to do to determine this? You come to what? H1 and minimize your chart. Now, what I was teaching, what I taught in zoning is if you have a small account, you go for the smaller time frame. If you have a large account and you want to use zoning, you can go for maybe 4 hours, 1 hour, but 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, if you have a small account, it helps you. Remember when we went to the higher time frame, we saw that price is coming down. is coming down. You can see it downwards here. And now coming to H1 is giving us a clearer picture that there's a possibility that this could be what? Price respecting this trend line and it's coming what? On a downward movement. But you wouldn't know that if you don't apply your zoning. You can see it, the price broke out of it, retested it, and it's coming back downward. So there's a tendency that that downward movement we saw on a weekly, monthly, and daily time frame has not been exhausted yet. There's a tendency that it will still come back down here. You can see there's a long support area somewhere around here. You can see that support area. So there's a tendency that price may likely drop here. So how am I going to determine where that price is going to drop here? So this is what we're going to do. You change this to line charts. Because when you want to draw your zone, you use your line chart. Okay. Now, the first thing you're going to do, remember, you minimize it to the what? To the maximum, what you cannot minimize anymore. And the next thing you're going to do is the first, we know we've identified this as it's coming, you can see it here, it's coming downward like this. So the recent pullback, that is the pullback that you are going to use to identify your first zone, the most recent pullback. So the most recent pullback here is this guy here, from here to here. This pullback here. That is the most recent pullback. You can see that price did what? It's coming down a bit. This did an impulse move. This is a correction. So there's a possibility that it will come down, or there's a possibility that it will do what? Go up. So what you are going to do now is pick your horizontal, your rectangular box, and draw from the beginning of the pullback to the starting of the pullback. Then you stretch it. Did you see what I did? This is the most recent pullback. After squeezing this, this is the most recent pullback here, from here to here. So what I did is pick my rectangular box. I drew from the beginning of the pullback to the end of the pullback, and I dragged it to the future or to the past. It will determine where your next take profit and your what stop loss would be. Now, for you to know where the next pullback, the next how price is going to respect it, you have to go and look for another impulse, another pullback that will determine where price is going to what get to, for me to take my take profit and my TP. And the most, after this one, the one that is giving us another pullback after this impulse move, you can see this impulse move. Look at it here. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. This was where it started consolidating like this. Have you seen it? So now this one, if I change this to candlestick, you see that this impulse here is within this our box, our zoning box. So there's no point for us using that particular one. This is the next impulse we're going to use. This one that happened, the next pullback that we're going to use. Let me change it back to line chart. The next pullback we're going to use is this one that you're seeing here. So you pick your horizontal box and you draw from the tip up to this place. This will determine your take profits. The next place price is going to respect. So what you're going to do is drag it here and drag it here. Let me delete this. Now, we've drawn two what? Zones. The question is, how can I identify what is going to happen? What's my entry and exit strategy from this thing? It's as simple as ABC. By the time you change it back to candlestick, price is within this resistance zone. So what you do is wait until price does what? Breaks out of this zone. Price does what? Break out of this zone. Breaks out of this zone, retest it. Then you sell to this what? Next zone. That is how this is. As simple as ABC. Always wait for a breakout of the zone and wait for a retest, then you do what? You sell or you buy. But if price comes out of this zone, what are you going to do? You wait for a breakout of the zone, a retest, then you buy. Now, how do you determine your stop loss? Your stop loss is above the zone. So for instance, let's say that this guy decided to what? Break out of the zone, of this resistance zone. Just like I was saying here. If this guy decides to break out of it and retest, where will my stop loss be? My stop loss will be above the zone. So I will take this line, put it here as my stop loss. Your entry will be somewhere around here, depending on where price did what? Here. Then your TP will be here at the tip of the zone. Always remember, what you are willing to lose should not be more than what you are going to gain. If you understand what I did, type yes on the chat box. If you want me to do a recap, say recap. But if you understand what I did, please type yes on the chat box. Peter, yes. Damilala, yes. Who else? I need 3 people. Okay, good. J. Jose. A recap, Basi. Okay. Basi, where do you want me to do the recap from? How I drew my zone? Ahmed, recap, okay? You want me to start over? Okay, I'm going to do that now. Now, how to identify your zone using, like I said, you can use this strategy on any time frame. The first rule is what? Zoom out, let me reset this chart. If I reset this chart is like this, okay? So I won't be able to determine, you're not determining any impulse move here. What you're looking for is just to check. You go to your month 1, check what is happening in the market. Just a better eye view. What is happening? Is the market on a downward trend or upward trend? You see that the market is still coming down. Looking at it is on a downward trend. You confirm with the weekly. You're not analyzing anything on the higher time frame. You confirm with the weekly. You see that the market is still on the resistance zone. This is still on the resistance zone. There's a resistance zone here. So there's a tendency that price may come back downward or price may break out of it and go up. But we don't know. We have to watch. You go on the D1, you see the same thing happening. That after this downward trend, price started going back up. But there was something that happened here. It stopped here. Ask why did it stop here? Let me put a line here and you see it. You can see that there's a what? Zone there that price broke out, retested, broke out. So you don't know if this guy is going to do like this, continue going up, break on the zone and go up, or it will start coming back down just the way it is. That you don't know, but you want to draw your zone. You check your H4, what's happening. You can see the H4, price got to this place, price got here and started consolidating, created this impulse move and was still consolidating. So you can't tell whether this price is going to continue going up like this or price is going to continue coming down. How will you use to know whether the price is going to go there? I use my H1 to identify my zones. Zones could be support or resistance zone. What your line chart help you is just for you to draw the zone so you can identify it. Now this chart is on reset. So I'm going to zoom out to the maximum, that where you can no more zoom out anymore. That's what you can see. So for me to determine whether this thing is going to continue buying or is going to continue selling, I will change it to line charts. Now the line chart is for you to identify the most recent pullback. Now you can see what I'm saying here. This is an impulse move. This is a correction. This is an impulse move. This is a correction. This is an impulse move. This is a correction. You can see the price started doing up like this. It started moving on a sideways journey before this impulse happened and this correction. Remember what I said. So now we are going to use, I told you, for you to identify your zone, you have to use the most recent pullback. And the most recent pullback after this impulse move here is from this place here to this place here. This is the most recent pullback here, this circle. So what I did was just to pick my rectangular box, draw from the tip of the pullback to the beginning of the pullback. Then I did what? I dragged it. I just did what? I just dragged it. Now, all this price here, this is another pullback that happened, but it's still within this resistance zone. So what am I going to do? For me to identify my next TP or my next exit, I'm going to check what I will do. Where is the next pullback? The next most recent pullback is this one you are seeing here. After this impulse, you saw this. So what I did is pick this from here to here. Now, what is your entry and exit strategy? That's what you're going to think about. How do you enter? How do you enter and how do you exit? The simple thing is, before you can enter anything, you have to change it back to candlestick. Before you can take your entry on this, using this strategy, you have to wait for price to break out of any of your zone. Let me give you an example. Let me reset this. Now you can see that price is on, let me use this particular one here. You can see how price broke out of this zone. You wait for a retest, just what you're seeing here. As soon as price retests on top of your zone, you take your buy. Your stop loss is below the zone. Your stop loss is below the zone. That is here. You wait for a breakout of this zone, just like how you see here. A retest, then you take your buy. As soon as price closes above the zone, you take your buy to the next zone. You understand what I did here? I just showed you this part. I just maximize it. So you saw that price broke out of it, retested it, then you will buy to this. If that this has not happened, by the time you identify another zone, your next TP will be here. But because this is in the past, now this is the future. The future price is still inside this place, this resistance zone. So for me to identify that this resistance zone is still strong, before I enter this trade, I'll wait for price to do what? Break out of it like this. Retest it just like what I showed you before I do what? Sell to the next zone. This next zone here is my TP. Then my stop loss will be what? Above this zone. But if today the price decides to break out of this zone to the upward direction, what you are going to do is wait for a breakout, wait for a retest, then you do what? You buy. If you want to check the next TP, you can go to your H4 and identify where next your TP will be. Or you just use your normal TP analysis that you want to do. But from what I'm seeing here, everything here has, I can't even screenshot it. If it breaks above it, I can't even maximize it again. This is the limit it can go. So if you can continue going to other time frames to check, okay, where next is price going to, maybe here or another place. Or you calculate the number of pips you want to use, 50 pips, 100 pips, 150 pips, 25 pips, any pips that you desire. But what I use for zoning is H1. So in fact, for this pair, there's no direction until price breaks out of my zone. If I wake up, if price break, maybe by 11 o'clock when markets open, price breaks on the downside and retest it, I just take a sell. Simple. To the next place. Here will be my TP. Here will be my TP. My entry will be somewhere around here on the retest. If you calculate how many pips, it's about 200 and, right? Yes, 232 pips. That's the beauty of zoning. You just take it from one step to another. So 232 pips as against you taking from here. Let me calculate the upside. Okay, now let me use the lot size calculator. Let's say from here. And your stop loss is around here, above it. So look at the ratio here. 0:4. It's your, how many pips are you willing to lose? You're losing, if I'm not mistaken, this 750, 100 and something pips as against 750. So the ratio is, I really understand this. 0:448. So you're just losing few pips to gain 48. I think I don't understand how this one works. Okay. But this is your number of pips you're going to, this is your stop. Oh no, sorry. I'm supposed to do, I'm picking a buy instead of a sell. No wonder I was confused. I'm supposed to pick a short one. Beautiful. So this is what I'm supposed to pick. Thank you for who corrected me. Now 1:8. So this is what you're risking. You're risking 1 as against you to gain what? 8. You see how beautiful it is? I was confused then. I picked, you are using the wrong one. Yes, thank you. So for the Ahmed and Babatunde that asked the question, do you understand how you can identify your zone now? So until price breaks below this zone, I'm not going to take any decision until I see price break below the zone, retest it, then I sell to the next zone. That is how it works. You can take 2 entries. Beautiful. You can take Basi. Was it Basi? Yeah, Basi. Do you understand it now? And who else? Okay, Basi. Yeah, Basi. Can you is it still on the call? I don't think so. Okay, good. A quick question. When you identify your zone, is it smart to place pending order? No, don't place pending order. Wait for a break because it can activate your pending order and go against you. Do you understand? So wait for a break and retest, just like what I showed you here. Just like what I showed you here. You wait for a break and retest, so you comfortably buy. But if you put maybe a stop order now, maybe buy stop, and you think, okay, let me put my stop, and it just hits you on a buy stop, activates you and start going down. So you won't know what's going to happen. So it's better you just wait for it to do what? Do his own thing. Then you buy and you sell. You can even enter, I mean, like I always, like someone posted something in the group. I said, you can enter 2 positions, do 50 pips, first take profit, second take profit, 100 pips. If you don't want to go down to the next zone. If you are not a patient person, because I tell people different personalities for different kind of trading. So if you cannot wait for this long period, you can just shorten it 50 to 100 pips. So no pending order, just wait for price to, yes, entries after retest. If there's no retest, please do not. Even if this thing breaks and be coming down like this, don't chase the trade. Look for another pair to work. When it breaks out, wait for retest. Break and retest is always good for you to confirm that it's going your way. But if this thing just price wake up in the morning and start coming down like this to this place, even if you hit the TP, leave it, look for another entry. Because you might enter like that, you might chase it and make money. By the time you want to apply it on another pair, it will go against you. So always wait for a breakout for retest, then you do what? You sell. You can combine it with your moving averages if you want to. For those who study this thing, you can see you combine it with your moving average. It's already telling me that there's a crossing. The crossing has already happened. These 200 started as a resistance, so there's a tendency that price will still be coming down. But for more confirmation, wait for breakout and retests, because price can stay here like this. Price can do like this, come down here, and decide to go up. He has his mind on his own. You might be seeing this double top, this M. You say, okay, this is a double top. Let me take it. Price might come down, give you small pills, and take it up by going back up like this. So always wait, let it get out of the zone, retest it, then you sell comfortably without panic. These are kind of trade you just take, place your stop loss, place your TP, and you go to bed and do other things you're doing. So you can add this to check, if you're using EMA, EMA, the 200 acts as support and resistance. That is, if you go to your H4, you check where is the H. Oh, look at what happened. Beautiful. You know, for this EMA strategy, all you need the entry is on the 15 minutes, and to check where the movement of the price is on 4 hours. So now you came here and you saw that price is below what? Price is below the 200 EMA. Have you seen it? Price closed below it as the market open. So there's a tendency that it might keep coming down. As it's coming down, this is going, this 14 and 50 will start coming down. Then this will no longer be a support. It was a support here, but this candle broke it out. This other candle broke it. It's now like a resistance. So price is now 200 EMA is now a resistance for it. So we're expecting price to drop down further, breaks out of this, retest it, then you can comfortably do what? Sell. But if you don't have more confirmation, do not enter. That's why they always say wait for high probability entry. Those will give you more good results than for you just doing it on your own. I know some people, like I think it's Chidera, he loves trend line. All he would do is just to pick his trend line and draw his trend line. I'm like, okay, price has broken out, touched my trend line, retested it for me to buy. Yes, if you have that stuff. But I just prefer support and resistance because everything about the market is just support and resistance. So this is for AUD USD. You wait for price to break out. Let me type it. Wait for price to break out of the resistance zone. And retest the zone for the sell. So this zone now, if price is below, you can sell when price is below, price breaks below, let me see, 17900. Okay, 0.75900. If price closes below that price, to the next one. The next one is 0.7. You know, this thing can last for like a week, throughout this week. So it's not, you don't necessarily mean that as you take this trade, the way I typed it, that's the way it's just going to happen immediately. This can take days before it comes down here. It can be like 2 days, 3 days, and all that. But if it doesn't break, like I said, this, wait for it to break above and retest before you buy. If not, but as soon as it break above, just like what I explained here, sell it. You can have 2 entries or 3 entries. When you hit TP1, you wait for TP2. If it hits TP2, you wait for TP3. So that's for AUD USD. Now GBP AUD. Let me delete this. This is still rectangle. You can see the way we expected the rectangle. This one closed below, just buying to the next pivot. But let me use zoning because I want to be teaching with zoning. So we come to month 1. Please type on the chat box, what is price doing? Upward movement or downward movement? Is this an upward movement or a downward movement? What's price doing? Let's communicate. I now understand. Okay, good. Peter, I didn't see up. Is price going up? No, if you look at it, what's price doing? Look at what price is doing. See, it's coming down. It has not gone up yet. When you want to see that price is going up, you do what? Break here. Break this one. Then you know that yes, this guy is serious to do what? Buy. But for now, this guy is still coming down. You can see it here now. See, it has not started moving up. Though you can see it's up here, up here, but there's a tendency that this one might still drop like this. But until it closes above this high, then you can say, okay, this guy is determined to do what? Go up. This is the recent high for the what? Monthly time frame, and price has not broken it. This was the previous recent high. Price got to this place, it couldn't break it, it dropped. So there's a tendency that it may be dropping like this, or it may continue from here, go up, break this one, then you know that okay, yes, it has broken it, go up, break this one, okay, fine, then price is doing what's going on. But for now, it's still doing what's coming down. From what we're saying, price is coming down. So you go to the weekly time frame, you can see clearly here in the weekly time frame that it's still coming down. It has not shown anything that's okay, yes, I want to go up. Come to the daily time frame as well. Now this is where you might not be seeing, okay, price might likely want to break out of this, because you know, the lower the time frame, the way you keep moving it, it starts showing you a clearer picture on how you're going to go about it. That's why you cannot enter a trade with $100. Say you're going to monthly time frame to enter the trade, you just kill yourself. From here now, you might now say, okay, maybe price on the D1 is showing me more of going back up, but I cannot take this until this one here is broken. Pending till when? Let's see what H4 is telling us. You can see it here. Okay, from H4 now, if you want to take a buy on this, it will be easy for you to take a buy. You get it? But for now, before you can take a buy, let's go to H1 and draw our zone. Then the zones will now tell us, okay, am I buying or am I selling? Have the buy movement started? That little movement you are seeing up, is it trying to tell us that the buy wants to start? Then this one will determine the buy movement to the upside. So you change it to line charts. Everybody clearly can see that there's an impulse move here. Impulse move, correction, impulse move, correction, impulse, correction. So there's a tendency that that's what we saw on the monthly time frame, that movement that was seen on the monthly time frame. They likely tell us that this guy wants to move up. This thing that you're seeing here, instead of us to wait, you know, this movement from here to here is so much pips, over 1,000 pips. So for you to enter this thing and catch all the 1,000 pips, you go to the smaller time frame to determine that movement, to know when the movement has started. So that's why now we'll come to the H1. Now the H1 is telling us, you can see we've identified the impulse move on the H1. If you use rectangle on this, you're going to catch number of pips. But let me delete this. Now we've identified the most recent pullback here is here. This pullback, this one to this one. Have you seen it? This one to this one. So what am I going to do? Take my rectangular box from here up to this place. How many of you have seen how beautiful this thing is? You can see it identified all the zones here. What price is doing here, what price is doing here, what price is doing here. Now change this to candlestick. But before I change it to candlestick, let me determine my next TPs and all that. So let me put it back here. So what is the next pullback here for me to identify another TP is this one here. So you pick your rectangular box in case price breaks to the downside. So you will not just leave your TP open. You need to know where the next zone where price is going to stop. So this is another recent one. This from here. Then another one. All these places price is actually respecting price. If I change this into line chart, you see that they all fall within the same zone. So I will have to go and look for a next most recent one, or the one in the past that has not been measured, which is this. Which is this place here, sure you can see my cursor here up to this place. From this place up to this place. Then I'll just draw it. Okay. So now I've identified my zone. I will change it to what? Candlestick. You can reset it and check. So you can see what price is doing here. You see the beautiful W that price did here. So price is still within this zone that we drew here. So what if you were in my shoes and you saw this kind of chart? What are you going to do? Enter a sell or a buy? Or you wait for price to do what? Give you more confirmation before you do take a buy. Now here, it's telling me that that bullish movement that we are most likely thinking that is going to happen on the higher time frame, maybe it has started happening here. But for you to wait for confirmation, let this guy, before you can say this a buy, let him come out like this, breakout, retest, then this will be your TP. But if it doesn't, you wait for it to break out of this, do a retest, this will be your TP1, then you can come down for the other TP2. But like this, I cannot determine if, because now it's sitting on a support. Price is on a support, and you know what you do? You buy on a support level, you sell on a resistance level. So this is still, for here, this is a resistance level here for this. Sorry, support here. It was a support here. So price is now on this support zone. So you can't be thinking of selling. But for you to confirm the sell, you wait for price to break out, retest, then you do what? Sorry, for you to confirm the buy, you wait for price to break out of this support zone, retest this zone, then you buy comfortably up to that level. So now let's determine that with. Now, for now, why we are not going to do anything, we'll put our fingers crossed, is because price closed in our zone. Now you see this one. This price, this bullish candle, 1, 2, 3, 4, closed above the zone. But the one that came here did this. It entered back in the zone. So if the next candle that the market is going to open, close above this zone, you can comfortably buy. Your stop loss will be below the zone, and your take profit to be on the next zone. So for this guy, I'm suspecting or I'm expecting more of a bullish movement. But before that, I have to wait for price to close above 19,500. Price closes above 1.79500, we buy. If price closes below 1.8300, 1.78300, we sell. So for this, you just have to cool down and wait for every necessary thing to happen. But why me? I think that this may take the upward movement because of this bullish impulse here. This for me could look like a correction, then continuation. But before I can ascertain that this move is actually good, why I'm comfortably to buy than to sell is because it's sitting on a support area now. It has broken out here before, did this and all that. Before this can now be called resistance, confirmation like this resistance zone, it has to break out of this zone, retest it, then you know that yes, it's still just like this one here. Let me put the plus so you can see it, what happened here. You can see how this one broke here. This candle retested it here back to the zone. Are you seeing what I'm saying? This bearish candle broke it. This bullish candle retested it with the wick and closed. Then you sell comfortably down to the next zone. You see why it's always good to wait for what? A retest. You see how this guy broke here. This guy retested the zone and he dropped down to the next zone. My chart is blinking. Please, can you show how the strategy works on 15 minutes time frame? Okay, but the same way I'm doing is that's what I'll show it. Don't worry. But me, I prefer using it on 1 hour. 1 hour gives me the clearer picture, so I prefer using it on 1 hour. But you can use it on 15 minutes. So you see how this candle broke out of my zone. This candle retested it here with this wick, close like this. Then you can sell down to the next zone. very comfortable. So what you're going to do with the second one, which is this, let me move this. Okay, now this, you have to wait for price to do what, close above the zone, retest it before you buy. If it doesn't, if there's no close above this, please do not buy. You wait for it to come down, break this, retest it, then you what, sell comfortably. Now look at this one now. You see how this candle did what, close above this zone. It did not break it, and this bullish candle did close above it. If that you had taken this, it will still hit our stop loss. You know that there's no strategy that is 100%. It will hit our stop loss. Look at this place, I'm telling you, because price is going above the zone. Now this is what happens. Maybe you see that, okay, this guy has closed here, let me take another entry. But it's not good for you to take another entry. You have to wait for what will happen. Maybe you say, okay, I'm seeing this candle close below this zone. This guy closed above this second candle. Let me see, maybe this will sell. As soon as you click your sell here, it will come back and hit you on your stop loss. So it's good to wait for confirmation before you take it. It's not that it's 100%. You always meet. There's a time that it might hit you on your stop loss. And like this scenario now, you might feel that, okay, I've bought it from here. It closed above this. I took a buy, my TP1 here. And since this one not, let me sell it back to this place. Sometimes it's always good for, that's why I said check on the time frame to check the movement of the market to know where the market is going to. So if you are looking at it, you have to check out your structure as well. Is this thing going my way or is not going my way? Let me remove this minus. Okay, beautiful. So that is what you might do it here, buy it to this place, and you might decide, okay, because it closed here, let me come down. It will just go above and hit your what? Your stop loss. So it's always good for you to just take your trade. Can we take trade inside the zone? No, you cannot take trade inside the zone. You have to wait for the trade to break out of the zone. That's where the patient's coming. You have to wait for the trade. Just like as these trades are inside the zone now, you can, or except you choose to do inside zone from here to here. That is for you. But this strategy is break out of the zone, retest it and buy. But if you choose to do, maybe it's consolidating and you say, okay, let me buy from here to here, sell from here to here. That is your choice. But for this strategy, you don't, the inside the zone, anything inside the zone is consolidation. And you know, you cannot take a trade that's consolidating. You go for a trending trade. It's either it's going upward movement or it's going downward movement. Anything inside the box is consolidating. And it can be frustrating if you have a bad entry. So for AUD USD and for GBP AUD, can we differentiate from, you can't differentiate a phase break. That's why you have to wait for, how can I differentiate from a fake breakout? You may not know how to differentiate a fake breakout. All you need to, that's why it's always good to, that's why I prefer to use 1 hour, because 1 hour, any breakout you see on 1 hour is going to be glaring on you that, okay, maybe this trend for this market to break out takes 1 hour for that candle to break out of that zone. There's a tendency that direction, it might be going towards that direction. Do you understand? So even if there's a false breakout, it's part of the losses that you're going to get in any strategy. There's no strategy that's 100%. There's no, that's okay. Look at this. Let's assume this one happened. Let me show you here. There was a breakout here. See the breakout here. This is a retest. I decided to sell. It did not get to the next. It did not get to the next next zone. Let me show you. I saw something that I wanted to. I don't know if it's somewhere around here. If I have to minimize. Okay, let's say you waited for this. It broke out of this. There was one I saw now that broke out and went back in. Okay, beautiful. Let's say this happened. You know this. If you look at this what's it called, strategy, here is coming from down to the top. Let's say you took your take profit from here and this happened and this happened. This bullish candle broke into the zone, it broke out of it and decided to what, this one closed below it. You said, okay, maybe there's a tendency to want to start selling, and you took a sell and this happened. Do you understand? There's a tendency that you might say, okay, maybe this is a false breakout for a continual movement, or but it didn't, and let me sell it, but the price still went its own way. So it's better for you to follow the direction of the market, where the market is going. Let me minimize this. Follow the direction. That's why I told you. Saw how I came all the way from the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hours to check, okay, what is going to happen if I go back to monthly now. Some people wrote upward movement. When I say, what do you think you're seeing here? Some people say the price is going, let me hide it. The price is going on an upward direction. Now, it could be possible that this wants to start moving upwards. So because I'm not a position trader, I cannot start waiting till price make a bullish move and break this recent high. Why don't I go to H1 and follow it little by little? Since this is a new low, this is another, sorry, for this movement, there's a high here. Sorry, there's a low here, there's a lower high, and this is another one again. There's a higher high, sorry. After this higher low, there's a higher high here, and there's another one here. So there may be tendency that, okay, maybe this downwards movement is exhausted, it's time to go up. But instead of you to wait for all these activities, over 1,000 pips to happen, because you just need a confirmation from here, this is what you get in the 1 hour when you use the zoning. So that movement that you saw there, you might say, maybe it's time for this thing to start going up. Let me catch the pips to the upside. So that's why it's always good to go to your higher time frame and check what is happening in that area before I take this stuff. Now let me go to 15 minutes and do the same thing before I move on. So this is 15 minutes. You minimize the chart, take it to line chart. You can see it's going up, all the way up. Now let's assume this movement never happened. This one that you're seeing here did not happen. It came down all the way like this, and this bullish move happened before this impulse move. Okay, let's forget about what happened in the past. Let's start from the future. Now you can see that this is going up all the way up, and the recent pullback is this one you're seeing here, from here to here. So what you're going to do is draw your box just like this. Stretch it. Now, if you are using a smaller time frame, don't forget that there's a tendency that somebody, you can see in the group, some people will say, I'm buying GJ. Another person say, why are you buying? Me, I'm selling. But they're looking at a different time frame. Now, you that is going to 15 minutes, you might see that maybe this thing wants to buy you. It's not selling like I said there. But here in the 15 minutes, let me change it to candlestick. At the 15 minutes now, price has broken out of the zone, retested the zone. So you that use 15 minutes might decide to buy this pair when the next candle closes above it. You buy it, take your short period and go. Why the other person using the H1 will wait for price to do what? Break out of his own H1 zone before he decides to so buy it. But you that is 15 minutes might decide that, okay, I think the buy has started. Let me come here and take it and go. As I said, you can use it on any time frame. On our H1, it wasn't like this. The whole pullback was inside the zone. But on the 15 minutes, the pullback is already, the impulse move was in the zone, and the pullback is outside. The retest is not outside the zone. So what you do that, this is the impulse move. It retested on top of the zone here. So someone using 15 minutes will say, okay, I think it's time for me to take this buy. If this thing has happened on Friday, somebody would have been on the buy now. You can see it. If you knew about zoning, you would have been buying. As soon as this candle closed, you might say, okay, candle has closed, market has closed, let me just leave it. But for you now, you already have 15 minutes. Person will say that this candle is a buy for me. So if market open, I'll buy to the next one. But someone using H1 will wait for, H1 wasn't like this. You can see the 15 minutes. It's giving you more clarity. It breaks out, retest it, see the retest, you can buy to the next zone. 15 minutes are for those who have smaller amount of money in your MT4 and you want to use it to trade. You don't need the larger TPs and all that. It's still good for you. This thing can work on any time frame. Any time frame, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, it can work on any time frame. It's just for you to know how to identify your zones. If you know how to identify your zone, it's easy for you to do what? Take your pen out. If you take this buy all you need to do is go and check. Maybe you come to your 30 minutes and check what's happening. Look at, when you come to your 30 minutes now, you see that you have more things upstairs, up here. You change it back to line chart and determine where my next TP will be. So this is where your next TP will be. This was the impulse move I took from here to here. So if I decide to buy this pair, my next TP won't be long. 15 minutes is just scalping. You don't need to take more. So if you are buying this pair, your TP will be long position, entry here. This is how your TP is going to be. 1:3. 1:, no, you're not. This is a bad stuff, because you can see that what you're going to gain is lower than what you're going to lose. You're losing more than what you just 49 pips and 50 pips. Just 1:1. But if you can do it, fine. If you leave, you're losing. If you use 0.01, you're losing 49 cents to gain 50 cents. Depends on what you're using. So this just is 1:1 for this particular. So that's how it is with the 15-minute time frame. I'm sure the person that asked about it, you understand how it works now, right? So I can move on to the next. Okay, good. So for GPP, I think I've deleted what I typed. Hope I didn't delete it. Oh, I clicked on delete, right? Wow. Who can remember what I think 1.790, 1.7 what? I wrote the figure, but I deleted it when I was trying to explain this 15 minutes. 15 minutes chat. Okay. All right, good. Let me just copy that. Paste it back. Okay. I think this, yeah. All right, so that's what's for GBP AUD. We have to wait for that confirmation before we continue the buy on GBP AUD. So GBP USD, what did we have here? I've deleted it. What are we seeing on the monthly time frame? The dollar has always been winning all this way. They've been coming down, but pounds decided to fight back in the recent period with this move. See the pink bar here, and it's still going up. So, but looking at it, price is on a downward trend. On the weekly time frame, that little move we saw, you can see how it's beginning to go up, but just on a bird eye view, price is coming down. It's still down. Now, this is a resistance zone where price is at this particular time. So price closed below the resistance zone. So we cannot say anything until we see how price will react. You see? So if it breaks above it, then you can say, okay, maybe look at this price here. After the breakout, he retested the zone, bought more, broke inside it again. So you might see this move. If you're not careful, that's why I say it's always good for you to allow price to break the recent high or the recent low. Now, this thing here might make anybody think that price wants to start buying. But after this fake breakout, fake double top, fake breakout, fake retest, you might think that price wants to keep going up. But what did price do? Price broke down here, consolidated a bit, came back to retest it, broke it here, came back to do what? Retested. So for you not to make the same mistake, you have to wait for what will happen. This is a resistance zone. Is price going to go up, retest it and keep going up, or is price going to continue coming down? So we don't know that. We'll have to go to lower time frame to know whether this movement you are seeing here want to start going back up. So that's why you cannot take your trade on a higher time frame. Now, if you look at D1, you can see that D1 is already moving up. The upward movement is going up and up. We don't know. Let me minimize this. See, it has started going upward. So we don't know whether this upward movement is it going to continue coming down? Remember, this is a resistance zone on the daily time frame. So there's a tendency that it will come down or it might break it and go up. So you come to H1 and we draw our what? Zone on H1. Price is even looking upward here. So it's going upward, this upward movement. The most recent pullback is this one. This one to this. That is from here to here. That's the most recent pullback. Another pullback here will pick from this place to this place, because that's the most visible one you're seeing. I picked this one to this one. That is a pullback I picked. So in case it comes down, your take profit to here. But in case it doesn't come up, let me change it to candlestick and see what's happening. You can see that price is going on a sideways movement. Look at it. It's not going up or down. So you can't determine whether to buy this thing or to sell until you have further confirmation. But let me go to 15 minutes and see if I can see something there on 15 minutes, just like what somebody said. Even on 15 minutes, if we change it to line chart, we're not seeing anything. Price is just moving. See, it's from M, come down. It's still moving on the sideways. It's not moving. It's creating higher highs. You can see it, but you cannot tell if this higher high is still respecting it. But let's just draw our zone and see. This is the most recent, this large zone here. You can see how price, you can see all those movements is happening there within that place. Let me change it to line chart. So you don't know here, should I buy or should I sell? All you need to do is wait for price to break out of the zone, retest it, then you sell, or break above it, retest it, then you buy. So now this place, there's nothing you can do on GBP USD. You can as well go and draw a rectangle to check whether it's on the pivot level or is on the trend or the zoning level. You don't know. But for here now, you can't buy it because it's still inside the zone. So you have to wait and check what the price is going to do. So if price breaks out of this zone, you wait for a retest and you do what? You sell GBP USD. Because from the look of things, both pair are actually strong. I think we did this one last week. Yes, GJ. Yeah, we did GJ last week. So, and I told you that GJ is still going up. Yes, this is so. There's no analysis here. My analysis is still the same thing. And for those who bought GJ, they should still be in profit because we bought this GJ here. We did our own analysis that in case it breaks out of the zone, we are going to what? Sell. But it did not break out. See what happened here? It closed above. So we have been buying GJ and we're expecting GJ to get all to the next level here. So there's not much analysis to do here. GJ still have how many more pips to go? $463 pips to go. So we have a long way to go with GJ. So my analysis on GJ still stands that is a bullish move and we are going bullish with GJ. Now NZDJPY, I don't know who's trading this cross, but it looks nice. Let me go to H1 Change it to candlestick. Now this is the most, somebody's chatting me up. Hold on. No, you can't enter the market. Anytime the market open, you don't just enter now because the spread will be very high. So you have to wait for like after 1 hour when the spread has come together before you can determine to enter. Okay, so look for a good entry. So this is the most recent pullback here. This is the most recent pullback. No, 1 hour is okay. 2 hours is much. 1 hour is okay. So this guy is not looking bad. This is the most recent pullback here and here. Then after that, we have another pullback here. This little one here. Another pullback. This guy is not looking bad. But I don't do crosses. Okay, so let me change it to line chart and candlestick and see what's happening here. So this guy is looking good towards buy. It broke out of this zone, retested this zone. So even if there's going to be any spread, it will just be spread that will come back here to retest it. Then we'll buy NZD JPY. Let me go to H4 and determine the next TP. Because the next TP is the next zone where the price is going to go to. So you can't just be drawing, you have to check. Where's my price? Oh no, I don't want to do it like this. I need to, okay, let me use D1. I need to know the next one. I need to see the past. Yes, I have to see the past to determine what I'm going to do. It didn't show me with my, so you can see that price is going up, NZD JPY. So my next TP could be somewhere around here. Let me check on H4 to see if I can see the past. Let price load. Let me just get. It's trying to load. I'm trying to see what's going to happen. Okay, let me do this. But this guy is looking more like a buy. Is looking good to buy. So wait for the market to open after 1 hour. If it's still on top of this, if price is still on top 7,100, good to buy. If price closes above 75.100, it's a good buy. If price closes below 74,600, we sell. Your TP and your stop loss, you know where it is above and below your. But this thing, two pairs I'm seeing here are good to enter the market when it just obeys what we are doing. Here, it has broken out. This is like a retest for us. So you can determine your buy when the market opens. So you can do 50 pips TP1, 100 pips TP2. You don't need to wait for the whole market. So this guy is good for a buy. GJ, well, we've been buying it since last week, so there's no analysis on it. We bought somewhere around here, so we're still buying. GA2 is good to buy for me as soon as the market, for the fact that it's closing above this, we are buying it. NZD USD is a sell, but to confirm this sell, price needs to break what? Below this zone, retest it, and we sell to the next zone. I think we're done for this. So I think it's only GBP USD that I don't have. Okay, yes. This one I have to wait for it to break out of this zone to sell. because of the way the pair is looking. So I don't have much analysis on this. This one you have to wait for it to happen. You have to wait to see what's going to happen before you enter GBP USD. Though it's going to move, but you need to wait, have more confirmation from it. So GJ is still buying. GA is a good buy as far as it's closing above this. NZD JPY is also a good buy. AUD USD is a sell for me, but I have to wait for this to happen before I take the sell. Any other question? I'm done. No, 1 hour is okay. Just wait for the market to stay like 1 hour before you can enter a pair. By that time, the spread must have reduced. 2 hours is too much. Any question? What of gold? Okay. What are we doing on gold? Let me check. So gold is still, for now, it's consolidating. You know how gold works. Gold candlestick, one candlestick on gold can do 100 pips for you. So this was going to happen. For now, it's below our pivot level. So if you wait for this candle to close, this present candle that's going to break out as soon as market open. If it closes below this pivot, sell it, because this last one did what? Close below our pivot level. So if the next candle that is going to come up closes below the pivot level, sell to this. So if it closes below 1858, sell. If it closes above it, you have to wait for 2 candles before you buy. But let me write it down. If the present H4 candle closes below 1858, sell. But if it closes above 1858.970, wait for the next candle to close above for you. So for this guy, the sell is still okay. Oh, this is too much. So for gold, since it's below this, my bias is sell. If it closes below this, what I'm expecting is maybe market open and does something of this nature, you sell to this zone. But if it breaks out of it, you wait for it to close above, then you buy to this one. But for now, it's what coming. It's not showing any sign of what it's going up because of this close based on the strategy. But if it breaks that pivot level, which is 1858.970, it will go up to the next one, to this next place, 1892. So always wait. You know, gold is a beautiful pair. Just one candle can give you 100 pips. So if you just follow the instruction and it happens that way, you can take your 100 pips, your 50 pips, and you leave the market. So that's all the analysis for today. Any question on zoning or the EMA crossing that I just showed you briefly? If there's no question, let's go and practice it on our charts. Practice it on your demo account. Trading is 90% psychological, 10% your skill. The psychological part of it is for you to have the confidence that, yes, if I'm taking this trade, I'm okay. Even if it hits my stop loss, I know that my analysis is good. Have you seen trades that will hit your stop loss and go your way? That doesn't mean your trade is bad or what you analyze is not good. But you don't need to wait for me to send a trade in the market in the chat. You can do it yourself, and I've seen people there, Chidera, P-Boy, Konzi, so many people taking trades on their own, even Elf Michael, practicing and making big money. I know of someone in the group that grew 40, was it $40 to about 3,000 something dollars. So people are actually making money, but you need to practice it and build your confidence that I know that this thing is, the only thing that makes people to maybe close a trade when they see drawdown is out of fear. But me now, if this particular trade closes below 1858, as I'm saying it, my stop loss will be here, the candle that broke it, below it, then I'll take my take profit down, and that's it. Two things will happen is either I hit my stop loss or hit my take profit. And when I've gotten 40 to 50 pips profit, I move my stop loss to break even, or I move 10 pips to it. So even if it comes out, it will hit me on stop profit. So that's how it is. But last week I didn't take any trade, but this week I'll make sure I'll take my gold as usual. My silver is still looking good for a buy. If this one closes above it, you can buy to the next one, which is this. It's still looking good to buy. That's if the present candle closes above, just like what you're saying. But if it closes below, you wait for the next candle, then you do what you sell. But if this present candle closes above this 26,828, buy it to 27.59. It's still going to go. I think I'll take silver. I'm going to take silver and gold with one other pair. That's what I'll do for today. So thank you very much. In absence of any question, let's go and practice and get our MT4. Please don't pack so many pairs. Pick 3 or 5 pairs and you're okay with it. Put it on your laptop and monitor their movement. Too many pairs will make you confused that you're going to lose out on what? Entries. That is one thing about having so many pairs you're analyzing. Me, I've come down. It's because of you people I'm even entering 2 pairs and all that. Gold is just what I do. So if you analyze 1 pair or 2 or 3, you know that when you look at your MT4, you can say, okay, yes, I'm not missing any trade. But when you analyze so many trades, you will miss out on so many opportunities. So pick the best 3 or best 5 that you're okay with and work with it. Learn their movement, practice their movement. Trust me, you'll be a master in this thing. Thank you very much and have a blessed night. Thank you, Toby.